Well, welcome back to Riverbend Discovery Center. I hope you guys are all having a wonderful day so far. If you guys are new here, welcome. Riverbend Discovery Center is kind of like our lower budget zoo. Not really lower budget in the sense that it's like kind of a crummy zoo, but more so that they don't really focus on big theming and stuff like that. A lot of the times you'll get these kind of like pop-up zoos. These are more so kind of like, more modern day-ish kind of things. Kind of getting their feet wet with a lot of exotic animals and such like that. Maybe they're not really accredited. That's kind of the vibe that I'm going for with this zoo. And I have a lot of different zoo projects happening at the same time. It's just I've never really done anything like this. So if you guys are interested, welcome. Yeah, so what we're doing today is probably going to be one of the biggest animals that we'll have in Riverbend. This is going to be our little chimpanzee habitat. And I really wanted to build for these guys because I don't think I've built for the chimpanzees in Planet Zoo ever. So I really just wanted to make a new habitat for these guys because they're really, really awesome. I was honestly considering doing bonobos because I also haven't built for them either, but I really wanted to just build for chimps because our local zoo near me, I believe it's Southwick's Park Zoo, yes, Southwick Zoo, actually. They are a not AZA, but they're ZAA facility, and they actually do have chimpanzees, so, it's not like the highest accreditation, but they do have some accreditation, but I don't know, I don't even know where I'm going anymore. I just really wanted to build for chimps, and right over here was exactly where I wanted to build it. Hope you guys, like all the returning fans, all the returning viewers, are okay with the amount of Riverbend that's been happening in the past few days. Really past few weeks. I'm really into the zoo recently, and it's just so fun to pop in here and build something because I don't really need to dedicate like a whole lot of resources to theming and stuff like that. And yes, I'm just having a lot of fun with this build, and I hope you guys are having fun watching it too. Over here, I also want to do a little bit of a bend, haha, get it? A bend in Riverbend, haha. Over here, just to give guests a little bit of an alternative view into the chimpanzee habitat. I'm really happy with the layout of this. It's nothing too crazy. I was really inspired by Caesar Creates. I'm sure so many of you guys are following him as well. He is a huge up-and-coming Planet Zoo YouTuber. He does these beautiful clean builds, especially with primates, and I really wanted to use his new like dead tree set. They look incredible, and if you guys haven't already seen those are on the workshop. They're like the first thing that you see when you actually do load into the workshop, so definitely go give him some love. He's an incredible creator, and I am so jealous of him. But moving on through here, you can see me try and get my chimps in here, and the general like layout of the exhibit itself is starting to take shape. I really want to have this big rock over here to the right, kind of like a nice big mound for the chimps to like, climb up on and maybe like kind of view the rest of the habitat wherever they are. And I also want to have a little bit of an up close and personal look at the chimps, so I do include that like right around the corner right there. You'll see it come into play relatively soon. I'm just working on like the rest of the habitat right there and trying to get like, the general shape of it all down pat. Probably you would see some indoor areas as well for the chimps. They do require a lot of indoor habitat space, especially in a climate like this where you often get like snow and stuff, so they would require that. This is the little bit of theming that's we're gonna do over here. It's just a little bit of rock walls, and I do put a glass kind of like barrier right there so guests can like get up close and personal with chimps. I always love that whenever you see that at zoos, whenever you're able to meet face-to-face primates. It's just so crazy just to like feel that connection between you and those who have evolved like right before you. It's always so cool. But we add that right over there with the new enrichment items from the Europe pack, the bridge, and those new pieces over there. I forget what we call them. I think they're like habitat bedding or whatever. I don't really know. But we kind of prop those up with some supports. That's pretty much all we use those for. I do include some later down the line like off-speed build, so I do apologize on that. I include that like in the big climbing structure. By the way, that's something that we do in this episode. We make a huge climbing structure from scratch. Yes, I'm finally breaking free of using Beezy's blueprints. Beezy, you know how much I love you, but listen, I gotta do something for myself in this build over here, okay? So I really wanted to do a big kind of reclaimed looking one, so you'll see that come into play relatively soon. I'm just working on the general rock work of this habitat first. I use rocks blocks to really give me a good idea of how the terrain will move and how the terrain is really formed around the habitat. A lot of the times when you do get these kind of pits, you'll see some stairs pop up as well. We include some stairs for the keepers to walk down there and clean up whatever may be falling down there as well. Moving on through here. Yes, here I actually do add the stairs. They're a little steep. Do keep that in mind. Our keepers are trained professionals. We have had them sit down and watch several training videos on how to walk down and upstairs. Trust me, we want the best for our keepers. The chimps, we don't let them watch that, because if they watch that, they'll find ways to get out. But all that being said, you can see me kind of plop down. Okay, I guess you don't actually get to see me plop down the new branches, but that's fine. Here we also add the faux rock wall back here. Nothing too crazy. I just want to make sure that the chimps really aren't able to get out. Chimps are exceptionally good climbers. They are quite literally built for it. But we made sure to have like these beautiful rock walls be able to keep them out. There is implied hot wire up there. I should probably go back and actually add some. Hot wire would be a wonderful item to have in the game Frontier. Just saying, if you guys are listening, I would absolutely love to have hot wire just to help us be able to focus on realism and stuff like that. A lot of the times when you get builds kind of like this, hot wire is easily one of the best things to be able to use in order to get animals from stopping to escape, stopping them from like climbing out and stuff, especially when you have like, you're kind of out of resources. You can't really net over an entire enclosure, but hot wire will deter them. If you guys don't know, hot wire it's just an electrified wire. It doesn't like extremely hurt the animals, but it does deter them from wanting to escape. You can see me start to plop down the initial structure over here of the climbing frame. I really wanted to have it cover the entire habitat. I think it came out pretty well. But anyways, hot wire, back to that subject, is electrified wire, and essentially animals will test their limits when it comes to it, and they'll touch it and say, nope, not for me, and they will never try and escape again. You guys may remember that iconic scene from Jurassic Park where little Timmy's trying to climb over the electrified fence. That's exactly how it happens. Well, for animals, more or less, you know how the raptors would test themselves against the electric wire, trying to find weaknesses in it. Well, our monkeys really aren't that intelligent as raptors. They will still probably do that as well. And we also cover up this area over here with some nice theming, with some cheap theming as well. I always love to say this, bamboo is the cheapest and best effective tropical theming that you could get. It even works in temperate climates as well, and even some colder climates. I know up here in New England we do use a lot of bamboo, and that's because it's a very hardy plant. It's actually more so related to grasses than anything else. And we do use that a lot for our zoos and parks around here. It's a very nice one. I have a lot of bamboo in my backyard. It's so nice. I love it. It feels so like, immersive. I don't know. But what I'm doing over here, I'm essentially just lining everything up, and I think I do lose some progress on this. I can't be for certain. I know at one point my game did crash, unfortunately, because I had an unfinished mod in here. Oh my gosh, silly me. But that shouldn't happen with you guys. In case if you guys aren't aware, Riverbend has no modded props in here. I did not want to have any modded props in Riverbend just because I wanted to give myself a little bit of an extra challenge and have all of you guys able to download this and have the semi-full experience. When you do download Riverbend, if it ever does come up. Honestly, you know what? I'm gonna plop it up with this video, okay? Check it out in the comments down below. You guys can check out Riverbend, and I think we'll even have like a little bit of a tour soon, so we could definitely check all of that out. So, yeah, honestly, yeah, that sounds like a plan. Riverbend tour progress coming soon, so we'll have that come into play. But moving on through here, one of the things I want to have were ways for the chimps to actually climb up. And that's kind of what I'm building over here. I really just want to have these different rings and beams for the chimps to be able to grab onto, maybe brachiate a little bit as a way to get up to higher elevations. Because if you guys don't know, it is recommended and more often than not required in AZA facilities for chimps to actually have a lot of climbing enrichment. They are arboreal species. They spend a lot of the time up in the trees as well as on the ground as well, but it is empirical that you guys do give these guys climbing enrichment, and I'm really happy with the style of this one. It's nothing too crazy. I really want to have this kind of like reclaimed kind of look to it. I know BZ kind of replicated this one Japan facility that has a climbing structure kind of like this, and I love how well the I forget what I call those, but they're from the Europe pack. I don't exactly know what they are, but oh my gosh, they are so good for making those like red lights. This, honestly, I did not expect it to look like this in the end, but I'm so happy it kind of did. It looks like a cell phone tower, and I feel like that works so much to this advantage. Wow, I can't even talk anymore. That's wonderful, Leaf. But I feel like the reclaimed look and having it look kind of like a cell phone tower works a lot to the advantage of this habitat. I feel like it plays a lot into Riverbend as well, because they probably don't have the high-end budget of like San Diego or Bronx Zoo, but they do probably make do with a lot of what they have. And we could probably imply that on the property was a defunct cell phone tower, and they were like, you know what, we're going to use that for chimps or something. So I feel like that works out pretty damn well. Moving on through the rest of here, I start to add some more climbing frames for them, and I think this is about the point where I kind of do lose progress, so that is unfortunate, but I do love to show off everything in these builds, not just because I'm lazy and don't want to crop it out, but also because I want to show you guys my thought process. It is okay to start over in some places. It is okay to say, okay, maybe this doesn't look so good. Maybe I'm going to use what I learned from building this to build something even better from it. That's honestly like a lot of the ways that I tend to build. And I just want to let you guys know it's totally fine to start stuff over, even though, you know, I probably don't do that as much as I should. But moving on through here, I forget what else I do. Oh yeah, I add these rings for the chimps to actually climb up on again. I was in the VC with Squatch. In case if you guys don't know, Squatch is an amazing builder, and he loves to build with primates and stuff like that. And yeah, he just gave me a few tips for this. He was like, yeah, if you want your chimps to climb, make sure that they're able to actually climb up with various things in their habitat, kind of like that. So I add those over there, and we're nearing about the point where I do crash, and there you see it right there. But I actually take this time to actually go back and do some foliage, because I have not done any of that yet. That's easily my favorite part of the entire build process itself, just adding foliage and making everything feel a lot more lush. And I think it came out extremely well. It feels so bright, and I love the mound over to the right. It feels so like, I don't know how to describe it. It feels so overgrown, but it honestly works for the habitat kind of like this, because the chimps would probably not climb over like all the plants and stuff. They probably climb on the climbing frames and stuff. So I think it looks exceptionally well in the end, and we use such a beautiful mix of foliage in here. These olive trees are honestly some of my favorite pieces now, because they create such a beautiful like kind of desaturated bush, I guess you could kind of say. I love the new like rosewood bushes, but having a little bit more desaturation in there is always wonderful to have. It makes it feel a lot more dry. It feels like you have a much different textured bush, and I honestly love it so much for that reason. And we also use our classic drain grass to kind of line out where the grasses would be growing, where the weeds would be growing and stuff like that. And we do add some stuff down there in the little pit itself, just as a way to kind of give off the vibe that, you know, nothing really goes down there. So it gives plants a lot better room to grow and thrive and kind of stuff like that. So moving on through here, I use the nettle. The nettle is one of my favorite pieces now. I used to love it back in the day, then I kind of fell out of touch with it, but I'm so back in love with it again because it's such a bright plant, and it gives such new texture and dimension to your habitats that it works so well. A lot of the times in these kinds of habitats, you will see kind of like animal trails. Pacing lines is what they're more so referred to for like cats and stuff, but you would definitely see these start to form when animals do start to make use of their habitat. And it's essentially where the plants can't really grow, because that's the main trails for the animals themselves, and I think it came out pretty well in the end. What I also do, I kind of add this railing back here just as a way to kind of like, you know, make it feel a lot more solidified in this area, and I do copy that over to the other side. So it's kind of out of the way. Obviously, like, there's no way of hiding it. The guests, not the guests, but the keepers need to actually make their way down there. So that is important to have. I also have that gate from the workshop. It was part of a collection. I do apologize. I do not know who made it, but well, I do know who made it, but I actually have them written down on like the little hall, pathway. Yeah, words are escaping me, guys. I'm sorry. I have them written down on the little pathway back over near the Lynx exhibit, because that's where I keep everyone who made those blueprints. Adding some green roofs as well over here as well, just to really help it feel a lot more tropical, make it feel a lot more grown over, because I don't know, I just feel like having that little elevation up there with plants really does help to sell it. I don't know, I'm just really enjoying it. It feels so nice. And we also add some benches all around, make it feel a lot more lived in. I didn't add a viewing canopy. I really did want to, but it just kind of fell out of sorts with me. Wow, can't even talk. So maybe I can do that later down the line. Maybe we could have that like in between our tour videos or something. But that's pretty much it for this entire video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys enjoyed the cinematics. If you guys keep your eyes peeled, wow. You can see a teleporting baby chimpanzee in just a little bit. So be sure to keep your eyes out for that. I love that shot right there of like the fallen logs. Here goes the chimp. Get ready. Watch him. There he goes. Goodbye. He is out of here. But I do want to stop to thank you guys so much for watching. I do want to stop to thank Squatch and Caesar Creates specifically for the wonderful, wonderful climbing frames. And like all the advice when it comes to it. So I do want to thank all the viewers as well at home for stopping by and taking some time out of your day to watch humble little low leaf. I do appreciate it as always, and I can't wait to see you guys in the next video. Take care and have the most wonderful of wonderful days. Bye bye now.